Hi, and welcome to the 64 Doors. Today we're going to open door 8. Here we find a creative role model, and we call this archetype the influencer. It is all about unique self-expression. Today we're going to look at it from a human design perspective and a Jinky perspective. I'm going to start by sharing the Rave mandala. And here we see that right now we have the sun in gate 8, and it's both in Taurus and in Gemini. And we have the earth in gate 14, and it's both in Sagittarius and in Scorpio. And the design part of the cross is the 30 and the 29. And they're also on the cusp of those astrological signs. So this is one of those crosses that are actually both, or actually we could say they have 8 different astrological signs in them, because they are on both sides of the cusp of the signs, or the demarcation when it changes. This for me is a very, very powerful cross. It's called, the right angle version of this cross is called the cross of contagion. I've had three long-time relationships. One was shorter, so that's the 4th one. So 4 of my relationships was with this cross. And it's interesting because the 8, which is in the sun right now, would form an electromagnetic channel with my personality, Earth. And the 14 forms with my 2, my personality, Sun, forms an electromagnetic channel. And the 29 forms an electromagnetic channel with my 46, which in the Gene Keys is my EQ. So that would be my personality, Mars. And then the 30 forms a Codon ring together with my radiance, which is my personality, Sun. Actually, no, it's my design Sun. So you can see that there are all these, the sun, when the sun and the earth form electromagnetics, that become really strong themes, because it's your incarnation cross, your main activations are tucking in, forming a very strong attraction with the other person. And also the Codon ring of purification is the way into the 7 sacred seal, which are the mystical teachings of the Gene Keys. So there is also a very deep theme there about what's happening in humanity, in relationships, the purification that is happening in the emotional center, and the codependency and all these things that we are breaking out of in order to create a new way of relating. So all that is for me super exciting. And also, just for me, if I wouldn't know about the electromagnetics or have the bodygraphs, the way that in human design we explain the right angle cross of contagion, it's also kind of the personality type I like. You can also think about the 8 and the 14. It's part of the individual circuitry, or the stream of creativity is the way we call it in integral human design. And that is a very individual. And since I myself then have the 2 and the 1, which are also part of that same stream, that's the kind of person that I'm drawn to, you could say. So the energy of your cross is to be a contributor through your individual effort. Your passion and expression of excitement is contagious and inspires others to follow your lead. This energy means it's unlikely you will be a follower of others, at least not all the way. At some point, you will step out on your own to break new ground. When you do, it creates the energy for others to latch onto your ideas and catch the wave. So I think this is super exciting. If you have the other 2 crosses that start with the 8, it's going to be with the 55 and the 59. So this is more, I would say this is more emotional, because the 55 is in the emotional center, the 59 connects through the 6 into the emotional center. And it's a little bit more, the emotion is always like a wave. So there's more like a wave in it. And there's spirit, and it's more, it's a different kind of energy to it. So you can of course go to loveyourhumandesign.com and look at exactly what it means to have the cross of contribution with being a 4-1, and also the left angle cross of uncertainty. If we look at it again, let's go back and look at it in the bodygraph. Then you see that the 8 is the throat gate. and it points down to the G center, to the first gate. And in the circuitry, this is the channel of inspiration. It's the individual circuitry. It's a projected channel. And it says the channel of inspiration, a design of being a creative role model. So that's what we were saying in the beginning. And the reference theme is you're here to be creatively different from everyone else. Your life is about having the courage to stand out from the crowd. Simply by being yourself, you will always get the recognition you deserve. So this is a human design way of seeing it. You know, it's this thing about the projected circuitry, and you need to be invited in order to be recognized. I would say yes, that's true in one way, but I feel like as the world changes, and we have been in the throat gates for a while now, we had the 23 last week, and I feel like it is about spontaneous expression. It is about unique style. It is about being you, and not so much about waiting to be invited. Be you and see who sticks around. There's something that is accelerating now in our evolution that just asks you to be you, basically. So that's the channel. And I feel like we could go right into the Gene Keys. Actually, let me see if I have some of the keywords that I wanted to also bring up. So some of the keywords are contribution, contagion, individuality, and voice. It's a throat gate, right? And then internal motivator, unique self-expression, creative rebellion, and then it's a really good promoter of its own ideas or somebody else's ideas. And this is also going back to the Bodygraph. It's because the creative is what we call the first gate. So that it comes from the G center, and then it's expressed through the 8. So we call sometimes the influencer, we also call it the agent, because it can be an agent for different kinds of ideas, for its own new ideas or somebody else's ideas. And the Achilles heel is melancholy, about no one paying attention. So if you are an agent for somebody for something but nobody listens, it's not very fun. And it can be perceived as too much, because in the Gene Keys, we're going to see that soon, it is about that unique self-expression. It is about your own unique style. And maybe some people think it's too much to have all the colors, for example, on you. And it's always ready to contribute. In the I Ching, we say it's holding together. It's always ready to contribute, to share, to be with a group, to be an example of how to help, of how to contribute. It is inspirational, and it loves to share. So yeah, I think that's the things that I really wanted to bring up for the keywords. Now I want to go into the Living Library and look at the Gene Key way of seeing this. So as we know in the Gene Keys, there are always 3 levels, or no, there's a frequency band, we could say, and there's a low frequency and a high frequency. And there is this frequency band that goes from low to high. And low to high, what we mean with that is that the low is a very contracted energy. It's a fear-based energy. So there's not so much that can move because it's really tight, right? And the higher frequency, it's very open and expansive, and also, you know, it's fear and love, basically. So we have those 3, and for Gene Key 8, the frequency band goes from mediocrity, beyond the comfort zone, style, a rebel with a cause, exquisiteness, the eternal love knot. And here I would say read all the chapters, or all the levels of frequency in the Gene Key book to really understand what does it mean. You know, what does the eternal love knot mean? It's really beautifully explained in the Gene Key book. We see again, we're looking at the cross before. So here is the opposition between the 8 and the 14. So mediocrity and compromise go hand in hand, right? And then style and competence, and exquisiteness and boundedness go hand in hand. So this is the part of the cross that we were looking at in here. Let's even do like this. So you kind of understand what's going on, right? And these are mirror opposites. So where we have a line that is closed in the 14 is going to be an open line in the 8. So they are mirror opposites. That's what we speak about in astrology as an opposition. So when we go to the Codon ring, this is the Codon ring of water. And somewhere where I'm going to continue, you know, when I can, I'm going to really refer to everything that Jane Addams does, because that's a very right-brain perspective, a very creative perspective to go into all the gene keys. And she is doing, in her blog, she's doing all the transits. And when I do the video late, I can actually go into her blog and show you. So we have, I'm going to scroll here on the video. I'm sorry. So here you have the codon ring, a codon ring of water. So these are very feminine, the feminine archetypes in the 2 and the 8, and they are connected to the codon ring of fire. So here you can read more about it. Codon ring, 2.2 pairs of programming partners, 2 codon rings. So they are very special, these four keys. That's why I was speaking also by me, like with me having the 1 and the 2. Imagine how strong the connection to the 14 and the 8 is. It's just super, super, super strong. And so we can go into, I mean, go and read about it here. You can read about the codon ring in the Living Library. I would also go into the I Ching. So here you can see it's water over earth. Like we said before, it's holding together. And we see that earth is continuing. So we were in the 2 weeks ago, and then we came into the 23, and then the higher trigram changed. It was earth, and then it became thunder, I think. And this week it's becoming water. So that's how, if you look at the whole, if you look at the Rave mandala, you're going to see that they changed like one by one. It's really interesting. Here you can see that the earth is continuing all the time until it shifts to another element on the bottom, when it's a whole, it's the same both on the top and on the bottom. So even look at the geometry of how we move in the different hexagrams. It's super interesting. So every unique fish swims in the same water, from the surface to the ocean floor. And when you look at the earth and water, you see that that's the earth is the 2nd gene key. So dislocation, orientation, unity. The water is the 29th, half-heartedness, commitment, devotion. And these two, the 2 and the 29, are making up the 8. And water and earth are, of course, the feminine again. So it's all, the geometry is perfect. You know, it all makes sense when we go in and start to decipher it. When we go into the integral human design, we see that what I was saying before, the individual circuitry is what integral human design called the stream of creativity. Because it's that individual. It has a lot of melancholy in it, but it's also a lot of creativity in it. It has those two like flips of the coin. And so creativity and love are the key words. And that's also, if you go back to the astrology, we see that we still have Taurus, which is all about the lover, the dancer, the embodied beauty, the flow, and the presence. And now we are going into Gemini, the trickster, the magician, the bard, the jester. And here it's more about curiosity and play. So that's what the combination of those two signs are in the 8th. Let's go into the Dreamarc, and here we see the slug, the mole, the hummingbird, and this is also something that you can go into. That was what I just had in the beginning. Here you have those 3 painted by Jane every week. And I also want to show you the mudra, because she paints that too. So all of the gene keys have a mudra, and this one is exquisiteness. That's the highest frequency. Do we have it somewhere? Maybe we don't. I think it's somewhere. Well, I'm gonna just turn this off. And then, so the mudra of exquisiteness is like this. It's those 2 fingers and then the other ones. And it's like, yeah, it's perfect. It's exquisite, right? And you can go into the Living Library too. And I think if you have no, maybe it's just the ambassadors. Like you can buy the library basically, and then you will have recording 1 minute with all the mudras. And then you can, that's a right brain way to tap into them. The same as we are seeing with Jane Addams, who's painting and writing in a way that is very, what I feel, very creative. And the same thing with the mudras. They are a way of tuning in with not really the body, but kind of the intention of the body, right? With the hands, and also the hands being a prolongation of the heart. So it's a beautiful way of interacting with with the gene keys in that way and with this archetype. I could say something more. I mean, go into the 64 doors and look at everything that is going to be there around this archetype. We're calling it the influencer because it is that person who's not afraid of setting new trends. It actually doesn't really care about trends. It's just there to express itself uniquely. And then it's going to get followers, but it doesn't really care about the followers because it is in its own flow. Like, so again, it's feminine archetype. And what about influencers? There are many more female influencers than male influencers in the world. So it is beautiful to see in modern times what this archetype is like how the archetypes are. We can see what would it be 200 years ago. It would look different. What is it today in this era? So it's interesting to look at the archetypes in that way. And I mean, this week, it's a week of, in this transits, you can tap into, do you even have a unique style? Like, how would you describe your own unique style? Or is it time maybe to create one if you don't have one? And what makes you unique, for example, is a good question. And have you ever taken risks when it comes to your passion? Are you ready to do that when it comes to living the life that is your individual dream, your individual flavor? And are you sometimes not fully you? Do you know maybe at work you're not fully you, or maybe with your friends you're not fully you, or maybe with your family you're not fully you? Can you discern those things and see how you could start to actually express your truth more? Because that's all about the mediocrity is when you don't express yourself. That is the low frequency. But the style and the exquisiteness come when you have the courage to express that truth. And somehow I would say that this 23 is a little bit more prone to be kind of judged or cut off, or have this like you're a freak. But here we have this is connecting to the G center and to the first gate, and it's a creativity, and the higher frequency of the one is beauty. So there is something when the 8 has the courage to express itself, it's often easier somehow. It's going to be understood because it's a more feminine, subtle, receptive way of taking in the 8 than it is to take in the 23. That's how I feel it looks like energetically when I tap into it. And yeah, are you living an uncompromising life? Have you taken the stand to do that, to be truly you? And what does that look like if you haven't? And I feel like right now we are in times of, there are a lot of planets that 3 big planets went retrograde this week. So it is this time to like reevaluate. And also with the lockdowns we have had, and now things are opening up slowly. Like, how are you going to go out in the world again? Is there something unique? Is there expression of you that now you have maybe cultivated? Have you been in an incubation during these weeks that you have been at home? Maybe you're not going to go back to the same job. Maybe you don't even have the same job anymore. Like, what is that identity? What is the creativity that is in you to go out in the world and express yourself a little bit more authentically than before? So I'm wishing you all a beautiful week, and that you're going to be able to express your truth in new, beautiful ways. Thank you.